Shalom, Shalom Yisrael. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Grand Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakathum, and to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your households. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Grand Millstone Dallas branch. And in this quick lesson, we're just going to get into let not the cares of this world pretty much, knock you out of this truth, man. All right, because it's easy to get caught up in the cares of this life. And what do I mean when I say it's like it? What do I mean when I say, the cares of this life? Ultimately, anything that has nothing to do with the Lord, right? Whether it's whatever hobby that may be, right? Whatever thing you like to do that can possibly keep you from serving the Lord, like you're supposed to. Now, give or take, it's not that you can't have these things, you can't do these things, but it has to all be centered around the Lord, the work of the Lord, man. Right? You should, and speak to myself first and foremost, of course. And, you shouldn't be making time for everything else except to do the work. Whether it's making your lessons, studying, reading, you should always make time for that. Give your time to the Lord, man. It shouldn't be, oh, you do every single thing else but give time to the Lord. Right? You was able to go work out. Yes, give or take, we got jobs, we work, but we're not working 24 hours out of the day. Right? You 12 hours, hey man, it's 12 hours of time that you could do something else. You could give the Lord at least 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours. Right? Give the Lord something. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this, because you don't want to fulfill this, man, because I'm gonna get into the parable of the sowers. But I'm gonna get into one specific one. All right. All right, I'm going to get Mark chapter 4. I'm going to just jump to the point. Verse 18, it says, "And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it become unfruitful." All right? So, in other words, man, you don't want to fulfill the parable of, matter of fact, let me see. I'm gonna jump up to it, and then I might jump right back down. Here it goes. Mark chapter 4, verse 7 says, "And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit." Now I'll jump back to verse 18. It says, Mark chapter 4, verse 18 says, "And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word," right? "And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful." So you don't want to be the one part of that right there, right? Because of the cares of this life, now you're unfruitful, right? Now you ain't producing. And we know what scriptures goes into about that tree that produced no fruit. The Lord's just going to cut it down, right? The Lord's going to cut that tree down. In other words, you're going to be knocked out the truth. Right? You're not going to be no longer a servant of Yahweh Bashem Shah, man. Right? Because you wanted to do what you wanted to do. You just, oh man, I gotta make sure I go to the job. Now, give or take, you do what you gotta do. But as long as you give the Lord some time, right? As long as you keeping the main thing, right? Like I said, speaking, this goes for me too, because I'm not exempt. These things I gotta make sure that I'm doing too, to the best of my ability. Make sure that I'm always giving the Lord his time to the best of my ability, man. Make sure I'm putting up my lessons. Make sure I'm reading, studying, getting into the word, supping with Yahweh Bashem Shah. I gotta make sure I'm doing these things as well. So you don't want the cares of this world to choke that out, because it can easily happen. It can very easily happen. You could be doing something good, but the flesh, it likes to overindulge in things. The working out, man. I'm always going to use working out as an example because that's the main thing that brothers been talking about. Work out. Make sure you're working out, right? Yeah, make sure you're working out, but don't overindulge into it to the point to where like you're doing that. You're making sure you're working out instead of giving the Lord his time. Yes, working out, it profit little, but this is what's really gonna, give you salvation. These words, man. Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and the strength of thy salvation. So this is right here. It's really gonna get you right. Right? You having this wisdom and knowledge and growing within that wisdom and knowledge. Not because you could bench 315, not because you could squat like 400 or whatever. Not because you just swole in a mug. Nah, not because of none of that. No, it's because of you serving Yahweh Shem Shai, giving your time to him, sacrificing your time to him, And there's nothing wrong with, wanting things in this world, but like, to be honest, bro, the times we're in, bro, it's like we really you finna get ready to lose everything sooner rather than later. Lord willing, it's this year, bro. That's all I can say. Lord willing, is this year. By the way things are moving, the way things are heading, bro, is looking like it. Hey, Jacob Trouble popping off this year. Just Lord willing, of course. But I'm gonna go ahead and get 2 Timothy chapter 2, and I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 4, it says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier." Right? So no man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. So you shouldn't be entangled. Matter of fact, let me get that word entangled. I'm pretty sure Google will do the justice. Let me see. All right, here it goes. Entangled. It says caused to become twisted together with or caught in. So you don't want to be caught in the affairs of this life. All right. It says no man that warreth I'm instead of saying entangleth, I'm gonna say it's caught in. No man that warreth is caught in himself with the affairs of this life. Right? So he's not, bro. Anyone that's serving Yahweh Shem Shai is not gonna be, caught with this, man. They're not gonna be entangled with the affairs of this life, man. Because they realize what's more important. What's more important is what? Serving Yahweh Shem Shai, doing what's pleasing unto him. Doing what's fruitful to the spirit, right? And there's balance to everything, man. Because Scripture goes into much study can bring weariness of the flesh. So we're not over righteous with it, right? We're not just sitting around at the house and all we do is read. No, we got our downtime where we'll brothers might play the game, brothers might watch a movie, go for a walk, etc. But we make sure you're supposed to be making sure that you're doing the will of the Lord every day. The Lord should be always on your mind. What did you do for the Lord today? Did you make a lesson? Did you read? What did you do? Right? Instead of, it's cool, we're working out and doing whatever other things you want, but just make sure you do what's pleasing unto the Lord first, to the best of your ability. Because sometimes, some brothers got to wake up early in the morning, and the first thing they got to do is go to work. But even within that, you still got to make time for the Lord, man. All right, it's easier said than done, but you still got to do it. And just don't get caught up with the affairs of this life, man. Trying to get something on this side when everything, honestly, we're finna get ready to lose. Right? Don't just don't get too caught up into it, man. Right? But anyways, Lord willing, I was edified. I made it all by saying Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Grand Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yasharala.